an even bigger problem. So if we know that, if we know the effects on the brain, and what I said at the beginning is true, which you can go look it up, the average age of first exposure is 11 years old. Well, the male brain is half developed. So full completion of the male's brain is around 25 to 27 years old. So it's not even half of their life. So young men don't have the rational thinking. They don't have the logical processing that when they're caught up in it, they're even aware that it's something that is a problem or is an addiction. Then we could get into the conversation around objectification, social anxiety, erectile dysfunction. But at the highest level, I think the impact on the brain is where most people have no clue what's going on.
Wow. So it sounds like what you're saying is, as we're moving towards the goal, we have dopamine being released to motivate us to keep moving forward. But it sounds like there are levels to this dopamine being released, and watching internet pornography, there's like a super dopamine hit that's released that we're not able to replicate naturally in nature. Mm-hmm. And because of that, we want that same level of a high, but we're not able to experience it. We almost get desensitized to other things, it sounds like, that would otherwise be moving us forward in our lives.
Yeah, well, not only desensitized to other things, but desensitization is an effect in every addiction, right? You know, anybody that is listening to this that maybe themselves haven't struggled with drugs or alcohol, but most people have an individual that's either been in their life, family at some point. So that person that is struggling with, they can't put the bottle of whiskey down. They got to go through an entire liter or an eighth of whiskey every single night. They didn't start their alcohol addiction drinking that much. They probably started drinking maybe when they were a little bit young, probably beer, and then you accelerate due to the desensitization effect. Same thing with drugs, right? The guy that is like chasing heroin and that's his only goal every single day. He didn't start there. He got introduced to this is why marijuana has been called a gateway drug, right? It's not that it's going to always lead you, but you don't end down the tunnel, of other hardcore drugs without going through other layers. That's the desensitization effect. So with pornography, and I'll give you a great example here to actually back up my point with the supernormal stimulus. So there's a Stanford research done, and I believe it was the 70s. Don't quote me on that, and I don't have the researcher's name offhand. But they did a study on butterflies, both male and female, and they created a natural environment for the butterflies. Now, male attraction to female butterflies is wing size, vibrant colors, and the size of the female butterfly's eyes. So these researchers knew that. They knew that the female butterflies that were getting the most male mates were the ones that had the biggest wings, brightest, most vibrant colors, and the biggest eyeballs. So inside of this butterfly ecosystem that they created, they started to implant fake butterflies with bigger wings than the natural butterflies, with more vibrant colors than the natural butterflies, with bigger eyeballs than the more natural butterflies. What do you think ended up happening to all the male butterflies? What? They began to become attracted to the fake butterflies because they were introduced to something that was super normal to what they were normally accustomed to, and that began to become their attraction. When we look around the world today, you look around the gym and you see a woman with, an ass implants, or you see a woman with duck lips, or you see these women that are altering their face to look like dolls. Do you think that's because the woman wants to do that? Or do you think that's because men more and more are getting attracted to fantasy, to nothing is real about it? When I see that through the lens of that is a byproduct of porn culture.